I have done a handful of tripod videos over the years, and I own a lot of tripods. Some of these have been sent to me for review, some of these I've purchased, and these are just the ones that I actually use, and one brand new one here. I have more tripods that I'm not even going to bring out here, but these are the ones that I consider my favorite tripods, and each one has a different reason that I really, really like it. So in this video, I'm going to go through all of these, show you what I like and don't like about each one, show you how we can combine them to make what to me would be the ultimate tripod, which I think is kind of cool, but probably expensive if you're buying all the parts separately. And just in general, educate you guys about what these different tripods are, what they can do, and so you can hopefully help make a decision about what tripod you might want to buy. This video is not sponsored by any of these tripod companies. This video may or may not have a sponsor by the time I actually publish this, but regardless, this is just a big tripod roundup. It's probably going to be broken into two parts because I've got my big studio type tripods and then the smaller lightweight tripods. We're probably going to cut this into two parts. We're going to start with this one. So let's start with the Benro. So this is a tripod that I bought many, many years ago because I really liked the head. This really was all about the head. I got the legs with it because I thought I liked the legs, but then I decided I actually didn't. So let's go through how this one works. This one does go very high, but it's a dual stage mechanism. So this is the type where you unlock each leg, collapse it down like so. You can see the multiple poles in here. So it is very, very sturdy. That's kind of its, one of its big things. But when I want to raise the tripod, I have to loosen three different wheels here, three different knobs here, and that gets it to one height. Theoretically, there we go. Maybe, there it is. That gets it to one height. And we'll come to this weird thing in the middle in a moment. Now to go to the next stage of height, I have to pick it up or get down on the ground and lower that out. So, that's pretty standard for tripods. Nowadays, we have a lot of single release mechanism tripods, but this is pretty standard. This does get us nice and high. And then there's this really weird contraption in the middle that I'm gonna be honest, I've never really totally figured out how to make it work the way I want it to. But the idea is here that you can adjust the height by turning this knob and it's pulling the legs together, or the other way and it spreads them out to do slight height adjustments because you don't have a center post that you can raise and lower. So if you have minimal height adjustments you want to do, instead of having to undo all the legs, you can just spin this, twist this to make it go, which is interesting, kind of weird. When it collapses, you can use these little latches to hold the legs together, so that's kind of nice. It does hold it all steady. It is not a lightweight tripod. This, let's see, where's the model number on this thing? Oh, the head up here is labeled the BV6 PRO, and that might be the whole kit, but again, we'll put links down in the description. So I do not love the legs on this one. The head, however, is a different story. This tripod head is gorgeous. This tripod head is extremely smooth, very flexible. Let's just get it down a little bit lower here, and it is probably the best tripod head I've ever used, and again, this is why I bought this. Now you have multiple tension points on here, so right now, let's just pull this arm out so it's longer, which by the way, the fact that this gets so long, that may seem kind of silly, but when you're doing really slow, smooth pans, the longer the arm, the smoother you can move it, and this is really nice. But for those slow, smooth pans, you have a tension locker here. So if I set this to 0, this thing spins freely, right? This is just full on spinning. However, if I take this up to position 1, then that adds a good amount of tension in here. Very, very smooth, all the way up to a third stage where it's really stiff. So if you've got a big, heavy camera on here and you set it to position 3, you're getting really nice, slow, smooth pans. It also has 2 more adjustments in here. One of these for adjusting the tilt. So if I set this to 0, you can see it just immediately pops right back into place. And again, with the heavier camera on there, it makes a difference. You have different levels of tension for popping that back into position. So with the heavy camera on here in position 3, it's going to slide back into place pretty quickly. And then you have another tension job here for doing the tilt as well. So basically 2 different ways to adjust tilt tension here. This has no recovery at all, so it just falls down all the way up to its top position where it will now return to center point. So very, very flexible head, very smooth, very good. Love this head. So love this head, really don't like the legs. That's the Benro. Now this is a tripod that I did a full video on fairly recently, the Manfrotto One. This is a sponsored video, and I do very, very much like this tripod. It has some really great features, has some things that I'm not super huge fan of, but let's start with what's great about it. Unlike this tripod, where to raise and lower the legs, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different connection points that I have to twist to open. This has a single lock for each leg. Open that up, and even though it's a multiple stage tripod, I've now locked that into place. So that is a very nice, quick, easy way to set things up. It doesn't go as high as this one. Let's get the Benro at full height, just so you can see the difference there. So if you do need a super high tripod, the Benro could be a better option. Another thing I don't like about the Benro is the feet down here have spikes, which is great. I love having spikes on a tripod foot, but taking this off hurts. Like, this is hard to get off. I've probably done it twice in my life and gone, you know what, I'm never taking this thing outside. This is just, it's too hard to get off. So don't like that. That said, the spiked feet on here are easier to get off, but also not easy. I mean, this still can kind of hurt your hands a little bit. You kind of want to be wearing gloves when you're taking this off, because it's a lot of pushing and pulling, especially when it's cold out. And the plastic here, which is, let's call it a really, really hard rubber, when it's cold, it's harder and it's very difficult to get off. Very difficult. It's difficult to get off, but it does have spike feet underneath, which is important. Okay, so we've got the easy to lift legs. Love that. This actual mechanism though, not the best. You're gonna see another tripod in a moment that has a better lifting mechanism, but for now we're gonna say this is quite good. Other things about this tripod that are great. You've got, well, the head itself. The head itself is a very good head. It is very smooth. It does not have all the tension adjustments that I have on the Benro, but it is a very nice smooth head. But this head's real claim to fame is its ability, let's turn it this way for you, to do the 90-degree flip. So if you're shooting vertical video or photos, right? Of course you can use this or still photos as well. If you're shooting vertical, this is such a nice, easy way to get it from horizontal to vertical position. Because when I'm shooting vertical content on a full-size camera, I'm always shooting open gate. I never go vertical. That's just me, but a lot of people do, and that is a fantastic feature to have. So that's really cool. One more thing on the tripod head, right? I can do this. Raise this up. If I remember how to do this, it's been a little while. Raise that up. There we go. And then do the 90-degree. There we go. That is exceptionally cool. So if you're doing top-down work, this can be a real easy way to do that. I really do like that about this. And as I said in the original video about this, one of the cool things, other than the ability to do this, is that you have both a telescoping column, which I think is very, very valuable for those subtle height adjustments that you might need. But you also have on this the ball head, which you don't usually get both of. Usually it's one or the other, but this one gives you both. So that is another very, very big plus on this tripod. The most important thing about this tripod, the thing that I think is just genius design, as far as I know, nobody else has done this, is the quick release head. So you have this system here, which is called the exchange system. It's built into this tripod, but the beauty of this, and you're going to see why this is a beautiful thing in a moment, the beauty of this is you can buy it's called the male and female parts of this, the top and the bottom parts of this on their own. So you don't have to use Manfrotto legs or Manfrotto head to use the Manfrotto exchange system. And that's going to come in handy in a little bit. But the ability to do this, to just pull the head on and off really quickly, means that if you take another one of the exchange plates here, say a female plate, and you add it onto something else, like this is my slider here, my eye footage slider, that means I can slap that on, and I've now just swapped the head from the regular tripod head to the slider that easily. Amazing. Love that. I wasn't using sliders all that often in my studio because there's so much work involved in swapping it over. Now that it's so easy, you'll see in upcoming videos, I'm actually using the slider more and more because it's that easy to do. So that is genius design right there. Absolutely love that. All right. I think that's everything about the Manfrotto One. Oh, one last thing, the column. Most of these tripods that have columns, you can take the column off. Probably all of them you can. This one just has a very nice, simple design. Take it off very quick and easy. That's also very good. Usually you need tools. This just slides in, has a secure lock on there, and you're done. So like that as well. Okay, I'm running out of space. Let's get this over here. It's a disaster. We're gonna switch to this tripod now. This is the SmallRig TRIBEX SE. Now I've I've put this on the big side, even though it's probably more in line with the smaller portable tripods, because there is a bigger version of this. So the TRIBEX makes, there's the full-size TRIBEX, and then this is the TRIBEX SE. This is the SmallRig potato jet TRIBEX tripod. Imagine this being bigger, and you'll have the features of the full-size one. This one's big claim to fame. So we went from 6 points to release to adjust the legs on this one, 3 points to release to adjust the legs on this one. This one, you have 1 point to release. And it's not even something you have to unlock. You simply squeeze this. This is so very cool. Pop that up, pop that out, makes it really easy and quick to adjust. I mean, that is slick. This is the lighter one, so I don't take this out in the field for heavy duty stuff, but I'll take it out with smaller, lighter cameras. So if I'm just shooting with, you know, a camera and a monitor, but not like, say, the full Pixis when I'm shooting this video on, then this is a great tripod for that, because it is smaller, it is lighter weight, and it is so quick and easy to set up and adjust the height on. You also have an adjustable column here, right? So you kind of get both. You get the easy to adjust height of the legs and the column on here. The tripod head is fine. It's nothing special, but it's perfectly fine. The handle on this does extend, which is nice. So put that in the right direction here. There we go. So you do have the extending handle on here. So that's great. Overall, a perfectly fine head. Nothing special, but it works just fine. It's nice and smooth. It's a good head. This tripod is all about this. Another very simple detail that I really like on this tripod, all 3 of these legs are covered in a kind of a textured rubbery thing, which not only does it make it a good solid grip, that's cool, but it doesn't get super cold in the winter. It gets cold where I live, and we did a lot of stuff shooting outside last winter. And you know, at some point you got to take your gloves off to do things. You just can't do everything with gloves on when you're working with cameras. Being able to grab the tripod and not go is nice. So I love that subtle feature, little thing, beautiful. This doesn't have spike feet. If I unscrew these, they just come out. So there's no spikes under there. I don't think it comes with spikes. I could be wrong, or maybe it's a separate purchase. You certainly could add spikes, but it would be something where you have to swap out the foot. You're not just taking off a cover like you do on other tripods. This is quite a lightweight one. The larger one I don't have, so I can't really compare that. But overall, it is a very nice tripod, and this is its claim to fame. I mean, that is the feature right there to write home about. Very cool. Okay, now the last big tripod. Now this tripod, I don't think I've ever included this in a video, but this is the one that I use the most in the studio. This is the YC Onion PINETA Peak. This is the 75. This tripod, quite lightweight. This, I think, is a carbon fiber one, so it's quite lightweight overall. Now, this one is the easiest, fastest to set up because of the single squeeze, right? So we talked about that. Very nice. The Manfrotto has these releases here, which are great, but like I said, they're kind of difficult. They're like, it's just kind of hard to grab sometimes. For the first couple months that I had it, it was quite stiff, and it's one of those you pull it and you're like, ow, that kind of hurt, and snap and get your fingers out of the way. It's good, it's great, it works, but this single release here, one release, it's so smooth, so easy to open all 3 of these, and the real beauty is you've got a handle right here to hold on to. So you're not holding the camera to raise and lower the tripod. You have a handle here, and now I can just kind of wiggle that down. Let's get it all the way down. So now that's locked, right? This is totally locked in. All 3 of those open, and this boy gets high. So that, as a studio tripod, is the one that I use the most. It's so easy to adjust the height on this. It is absolutely fantastic design. Love that. This has standard studio feet on it, but it does come with spikes, so you'd have to remove them. But if you want to take this outside, you could replace the spikes. I never take this tripod outside. I don't want it to get dirty. This is my studio tripod, so it lives in here, but I love this. Now, that said, let's get this down. The head that this comes with is fine. Like the one that's on, say, the SmallRig, it's fine. Nothing special, nothing fancy, gets the job done, nice and smooth, extendable handle, all those good features. Cool, it's good. There's 2 release mechanisms here that honestly I get confused sometimes which is which. One of these allows you to raise the center column, So love that. The other one takes the center column out. Why would you take the center column out? Well, if you take the center column out, this one is a straight up, it's just the column that goes up and down, right? It's not a ball head. This comes with a second head. I guess it's not even the head, it's just the mount that is the ball mount. So take some of these parts off so they can't accidentally come out. But basically, this goes in here, locks into flat. I don't need to do it, but you can have a ball head on here if that's your preference. So you can do either or on there. I do like that. That is nice. I like having the center column, so I tend to leave the center column on for the most part, but you can go either way on this. Pretty cool. But it's not the best head. Right, the best head is this one. So here's what we do. This is the exchange system. This is the extra This is the exchange system. This is the extra pieces that you can purchase separately. This allows me to, where's my column head? Let's take the column off of the YC onion. Drop that into place. There we go. Take the receiver head, the male part of the head, the tripod leg part of the head, put that on there nice and tight. Pop that head off. Now I'm going to take this and put that on this head, if I can figure out how to get it off. Oh, by the way, the Benro has a ball head, rotating ball head as well. Don't know if I said that earlier. Take this head off. And at first glance, this doesn't look like a head that you could swap onto another tripod because it's got this post on here and this kind of the bottom of the ball, but you can take this off, take this post out, and now I'm going to take the top part of this exchange system head, the receiving end of it, put this guy on the bottom here. Probably use a tool to get it all real good and tight, but now I've got the YC onion legs, this head, it just, it's a little odd sticking up like that, but whatever. Now I got this super smooth head on here that I love so much. And if I want to swap this out and put on my slider, all I got to do is unlock that, put this guy on there, and there we go. So that is the ultimate setup for me in the studio. Not for the field, this is a studio tripod. But that YC onion legs, the Peak PINETA legs, the Manfrotto exchange system, top and bottom, the extra receivers that you can buy, and then whatever head you like, and in my case, this Benro BV6 PRO head, swapped out for the slider. This is the iFootage slider. This, by the way, is the iFootage Shark Nano 2 860, the extra long one. This is the one that has the gimbal control. So you might have seen a story that I did recently where we've got the DJI gimbal on here. You have full control of the gimbal and the slider all together. Super cool. So yeah, that's the setup right there. Okay, let's move over to the little tripods. Did you see how long we were rolling before?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Should we cut this into 2 videos? Let's see how long this takes. If at this point the video's ending, then go look for part 2.